DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective. Your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
Draft heads, welcome back to the Key Pass Collective. My name's Joe Williams. I'll be your host here for this episode. A reminder, the Key Pass Collective is your audio companion to the Draft Society website. The Draft Society has your rankings, your articles, your stats, all the things that you need in order to excel at this draft game. Plus, we've got an insider circle. The inner circle is what we actually call it, not insider circle, because that just doesn't roll off the tongue at all. Anyway, the inner circle, if you want to join, gives you a lot of extra benefits for a small sum per month, or you can get the season pass next season at the very beginning of the season. But that's got player projections, weekly rankings, unique fixture difficulty tracker for our own site, like for this exact game that we're playing, not just some random fixture difficulty tracker for this exact game that we play for every position on the pitch. Set piece taker tracker, personalized confidential trade advice, and Ghost Point Tracker, which we talked in depth about in last week's episode. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, we would really appreciate it, and you'd be supporting an independent fantasy football website. So the DraftSociety.com is where it's at for all of your actually written information. And this, of course, being your audio companion to that. So welcome back, Key Pass Collective. I'm Joe. We're going to welcome in some of our just quite radical friends. We have back Totti. Totti, how's it going, my friend?
It is going well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
Nice. You. Yes. Okay. And of course, Ryan, who, Ryan, you're counting down the days until the wedding, eh?
Yeah. Next Friday. It's crunch time.
Amazing. I love that. So when do you actually fly out?
I fly out early Sunday morning,
Okay.
right as Arsenal Chelsea kickoff, which is awesome when you book a flight months in advance.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully I'm assuming they got Wi-Fi. I'll just watch it on my phone.
Yeah. Nice. Well, cool, man. Safe travels. Congratulations. It's gonna be amazing.
Thanks, man. Looking forward to it.
Congrats.
Yeah, keep us in the know about how things are going. Send us some pics.
I will.
Nice. All right. Well, today we won't banter for too long because we've just done that actually off air. It's nice catching up with you guys. Anyway, so today on the show we are going to do a little bit of fake fantasy for real. We're going to talk through some World Cup break stashes, potential players that you could grab now and kind of just hold and see if they pan out, or see if they get healthy, or see if they get a better role in the team. And then finally, we've got some Gameweek 15 streamers. So this episode's going to be really heavy on just players and player names, player kind of projections, and our thoughts on sort of like the future prospects of players. So this is going to be a show where you're going to want to probably keep like a pen handy, or like a notes app on your phone. Because we're going to go through a lot of players, and most of these are going to be guys that you could probably go out and add, mostly low rosterhood, as I like to say. So do kind of keep your ears perked, because we're going to be going through a lot of names today. But there's only one place to start, and that, of course, is with Andres.
You know what time it is. Or real, fake or real.
So good.
Haunting.
Christ.
And it keeps going. It's like the sexiness goes for just ever. It's awesome. I love it. Anyway, all right. Thank you to Andres, as always, for a couple of our drops that we have. So fake fantasy for real. These players have been performing very well lately. And our question is, will it continue, essentially? Is it a flash in the pan? Is it just a little purple streak, or is it something that's actually going to have lasting fantasy value for the foreseeable. So there's only one place we need to start, Ryan. I mean, obviously, you know people are going to ask. You know that is going to be the name on everyone's lips. Should I add him? Should I add him? Of course, Reece Nelson, 2 goals, 1 assist in 62 minutes. Last match, of course, Bukayo Saka went out, and Reece came on and bossed. So fantasy fake, fantasy for real. Could I pick him up for 2-3 weeks? Could I pick him up for, is he going to have any value after the World Cup?
Fake.
Okay.
First off, I mean, really happy for Reece. He's kind of had a loan last season, just put his head down, worked his ass off, got back into the team. I was frankly pretty surprised when he came on in place of Saka. I think most people were probably expecting maybe Vieira to come in and slot in there, or Marquinhos, who have both I think played more than Reece even in Europa League. But came on and had an instant impact. I mean, it was Forest at home, so you couldn't pick a better matchup. But yeah, given the fact that he's hasn't played at all, it was a really impressive performance. But the reality is that he's not going to be a starter. Saka's already back in training today, so which I kind of figured. So I didn't really. I think I put in a couple cheeky bids on a free and didn't get him in either because I think he went for a couple bucks in both my leagues. But I wasn't too unhappy not to get him. But I think he'll be just one of those guys that you keep an eye on if Saka ends up getting injured in the next couple of weeks or in the World Cup, because Arsenal and England are both going to ride him into the ground. So there's a possibility, unfortunately, of him picking up a knock, and it's just one of those things where you're just going to have to keep an eye out and pounce. But he's not going to be a rest of season hold. So he's fake.
Yeah, more of a streamer.
Yep.
And okay, I'm trying to remember. In previous seasons, I mean, he's been a streamer now for a while, right? And in previous seasons, did he have the kind of value that, I mean, obviously he didn't score 2 goals and an assist, but like in previous streams, was he good? I can't really remember. I think I'm confusing him with Mainsley, and who was terrible as a streamer.
Yeah. Pick him up for Southampton.
Yeah.
Great asset.
Right. But Reece Nelson do you remember if he was good last year? I really don't.
No, I mean he was loaned out to Feyenoord last season.
That's why.
He actually played pretty well. I think they went to the Europa semis, I want to say. He did pretty well.
Final, I think.
Did they go to the final? No, it was they got really far. And then I think before he also had a loan to Hoffenheim, but suffice to say, he really just hasn't gotten many minutes. So I think in those sporadic starts, he didn't do all that well. But I mean, he's got the profile to do well. I think he'd be a great kind of starting winger in a mid-table club. But he just hasn't really been given the chance.
So I'm seeing. Oh my. Okay. So I guess we'd have to look at 2019-2020, which he was like 15. And he started 7 matches, played in 17, had 66 fantasy points for an average of 3.9 per game. I know this is a different Arsenal with a lot more scoring opportunities, but I just, even as a streamer, I guess I would be a little bit skeptical. It's not going to be Forest every week.
Yeah. I agree. It's fake. He's fake. But I think it's a good indication of how much of a high Arsenal are on right now.
That's a good point.
Like essentially anyone who comes in, unless it's like
it's Eddie.
Well,
no. I mean, even if I saw Eddie start, I'd start him against literally anyone
I've been holding, waiting for that fifth Jesus yellow for a couple weeks now. I just can't bring myself to drop him.
I've been picking up and dropping.
Is he on 4?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's been on 4 for like a month.
Oh, man. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you, Totti. Totally.
So it's something that I had down, or even I think most of us agreed that last season there was a purple patch, but it was due to the young squad getting on good form together, and just everything was happening. All the bounces were bouncing the right way and stuff like that. But now it seems like that's the whole ethos of the club, kinda. It's I have to take my hat off to Arteta. I hadn't been a believer, and I think there were times during the past few years that he was closer to the sack than comfortable, I would say, or I would have thought he would be. And now, and it's like there's a good amount of excitement and upgrade with Jesus, but it's not only Jesus. It's the whole. Martinelli came in. All the quote unquote young guys have now got enough Prem minutes under their belt so that they can, although still young and still hungry, but they can be relied on in the thick of it. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Definitely. Yeah. Totti, did you have this thought when you were watching that match, or I don't know if you were able to watch the match or not, but even if you're following on your phone, I posted in our DMs like, oh wait, I thought this team was pretty good. Didn't Liverpool just lose to them last week?
Yeah, no, don't even.
How the turntables.
Yes, yeah. How the turntables. Anyway, it's fine. We've had a good week of our own, Totti. It's fine. It's no big deal. And we're definitely turning the corner. This is the moment.
This is it. Not the month's rest for the Queen's funeral.
Nope.
It's this midweek that is going to change it. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's move along. Okay, so Reece Nelson, fine as a streamer, but unfortunately not probably worth holding, especially with Saka healthy. But maybe wait till the lineups are announced this week. Might as well just to see. But yeah, moving along. So another name that is being bandied about, especially in the Twitter community, because I've gotten 3 offers for him just this week since the last game week, and that is one Kaoru Mitoma, and you could say right, his first start, or was it his second?
First.
Was it his first? Okay. I couldn't remember if he played like 60 minutes or something another time, but
no, first start. Yeah,
first start. Okay, so everything else has been, he had one kind of 45-minute spell, but then everything else has been 22, 24, 26 minutes. So in his first start, gets an assist. You could say it was somewhat lucky, and it was mostly down to Trossard doing magic with his feet. But still, got an assist, looked lively. And if you average out, which we just did before this, before we started hitting record, if you average out his points per 90, they're at 18.7. which
only he finished a game.
Which, Totti, you were saying puts him firmly behind Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Roberto Firmino, and nobody else in the league.
So when you were putting together the doc for the pod, you were thinking like, this hype for Mitoma is really getting out of hand. Let's just pour some oil on this fire.
Well, I told you I've already gotten 3 offers. I'm hoping for more after this.
What did you get offered?
Yeah, I was
trying to think of what I would take to get rid of this young Japanese wizard.
All right. Let's see. I'll end up. I won't say the name, but
Genie got offered 8 fab, which,
Oh, this
on
is
a free-
this was a package deal.
yeah.
I
Okay.
I was trying to get Mitoma from friend of the pod, Ben Chickens.
That guy's been holding him for like a month. No way he's going to get rid of him.
And I was willing to offer some sort of combination of Ruben Dias and someone else, but he promptly rejected. And I was thinking of maybe offering Julian Alvarez as well for the unfortunate Mahrez owner that is old Ben.
That's a sad cuff.
But yeah, no cigar. So I think my next best player to offer would be one Sir Joe of Lincolnshire.
Ooh.
Now that I would take.
I mean, yeah, probably that's a bit too much. Maybe Paqueta. I'm not sure where Robbie has what the difference is between Paqueta and Sir Joe in our current rankings. But yeah, if
United.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah,
that is important.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the hype. That's the size of the hype right there.
So it was the initial offer was Isak and Van Dijk for Mitoma and Zaha.
For just Mitoma.
Yeah. So I obviously took
quick decline.
Yeah. So yeah, Isak, Van Dijk, Mitoma, Zaha.
I mean, that's testament to his value, right?
I mean,
there.
and honestly,
really
it's not a bad offer. I was not offended at all. I was like, that's a good faith offer.
That's a good offer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right there. And it's only like you're only rejecting that based on hope for Zaha because
exactly.
he has not been good recently.
Exactly. And skepticism around Isak's playtime. Because
and Liverpool as a whole.
Yeah, and that's the same league I have Sterling, so I need like any forward to do anything at all.
I mean, you could just add Sterling to your side, making it infinitely less valuable.
You're actually offering me too much here. Let me add Sterling to kind of even the tables.
Don't want to be greedy.
Yes. Anyway, that's a whole different story. All right. So what do we think? Fantasy real, fantasy fake. Does he keep it up? Obviously not the 18.7 points per 90, but Genie in our doc said that he thinks he has mid 3-4 potential, which would put him at mid 36 at best. I mean, okay.
I think he's real. I think like if you look at how obviously Trossard came in with some sort of pedigree, but he had time to adjust. But if you look at even Gross, he was a nobody when he came in and took the league by storm. It's just Brighton, man. They do this for a living, and I think Mitoma is the next best thing. I think he's real. And the next best thing after that is a guy they just signed from Rosario Central. Facundo Buonanotte, I think it's his name.
Buonanotte.
Yep. So look out for that. In 2 years' time, he'll be
the new Mitoma.
The new Mitoma.
So I should not hold him right now.
Yeah.
Somehow get fan tracks to add him.
In a dynasty league, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, essentially,
he's going to be in the player pool for a while.
Probably not. Anyway, Ryan, real fake.
I think he's real. I want to be somewhat cautious. I hate to be the killjoy, but I think he's going to be good. But he's super young, so he's going to be inconsistent.
He's 25.
25 is pretty young. I mean, young in terms of experience at the
Premier
League. He just had one start. He's had one start. It's a puppy. it boils down to whether or not De Zerbi is going to, put faith and trust in him enough to run him out 3 out of 4 games. And that's, I think, still up in the air. When Welbs comes back, how do they tweak their lineup? I mean, he could put back on the bench this weekend for all we know.
Right.
Let's be real. But I think he's real.
Yeah, he's a hold for sure.
Yeah.
Better than a streamer, but we don't know much more than that yet.
Big potential.
Yeah. Okay.
Huge potential.
Huge. Worth an ad for sure. I think he's still only rostered. Hold on. He's still only rostered in 10% of leagues.
Yeah, definitely worth an ad.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Fantastic. All right, boys. Another player who's come on pretty strong lately, one that we've mentioned before in different streaming columns, certainly. I guess the question is, has he surpassed that now? That's, of course, Vitaly Mykolenko. He has right around 18 points, give or take, 18.75, 2.25, whatever, in the last 2 matches. Of course, those matches were Fulham and Crystal Palace, and did include 2 clean sheets. So Totti, tell us about Mykolenko. You think he's real or fake?
Well, I think it is. I mean, I told you this before, but these bullshit clean sheets are my pet peeve. Like for Ryan, the last minute yellow. This for me it just boils my blood. Because it's just like there is every chance that this Everton Fulham or Everton Crystal Palace ends up 2-2 or something like that. And someone somewhere just fucking forgets to change their lineups or sleeps in or whatever and leaves Connor Cody or whoever in there, or Tosin Aderbio or Julian Ward or whatever, Joel Ward, whatever in their lineups, and they get like 15 points, and it just, I need to calm down now.
So this happened to you with
think,
Mykolenko.
You think?
No, to a friend of mine.
Okay.
No.
So worked up about it.
I know a guy. So 18 with 2 clean sheets is actually 6 ghosts in 2 games, which is 3 ghosts per game. I'd say firmly in the fantasy fake.
Wait. No. Hold on.
He got 12 the last game.
18 each.
18 in each game. Yeah, exactly. 18
Oh,
in each game.
I was like 18 in 2 games. That's not.
That's a different color.
No, that should make you even angrier that somebody played him against you.
I'm all set.
They had more reason to do so.
If they played Mykolenko against me, I wouldn't be this worked up. They played bloody, what's his name?
That's the whole point.
Fulham defender. What's
Tim
his?
Ream?
Yes, Tim Ream. Tim
Anthony?
Ream. They played Joe Ward, Anthony Robinson for 13.5.
Oh, Lord.
Joe Ward for 13.
Man,
That's a week. That is a week right there.
that's so random. Those teams getting clean sheets and then you
Issa
defenders from all those teams.
Issa Diop for 11.25.
Dude, I played against Issa
Yep.
Diop too. I was like, you're an idiot. And then of course he gets rewarded.
Yeah, so okay, that's enough on that tangent. But yeah, 18 in those 2 is good, but I think his output is very much dependent on Everton actually playing well.
Yeah.
And they have been decent all season, haven't they?
Much a weird team.
Yeah, much better than I would have expected from Super Frank. And they have Leicester and Bournemouth Wolves in the next 3. Obviously, the third one coming after the World Cup. So yeah, I mean, he's not someone I would. He's someone I would play in the next 2 and then not drop during the World Cup game break for that home game against Wolves. But other than that, in any matchup that I'm not going to play him, I have no qualms about dropping him.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. Yeah, I'm just looking at their numbers. That Everton, they appear to be playing fairly well against shit teams. And I do still put Fulham in that category, despite their pretty great start. But yeah, I mean, you look at, they had West Ham in pretty much, West Ham's worst form. They had a win there. They drew Liverpool, so like I said, shit teams. They lost to Tottenham, Newcastle, and United on all 3 on the trot, and then they've had 2 wins against Crystal Palace and Fulham. So it's, yeah, I mean, and Mikolenko's scores basically follow that trend. If they keep a clean sheet / do well, he does fine, but otherwise he's getting you 0.5, 1.5 negative sometimes. So yeah, Ryan, what do you think?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I'd certainly hold if I had him now, given the run of fixtures. He's kind of
Bournemouth before the World Cup.
He's kind of a tweener in terms of scoring. He scores well enough for you to pick him up and stream him and then hold him for decent matchups, but not well enough for you to take the hit when he's not playing well and hold in the hope that he has rest of season value. So he's like right on the line there. He's kind of like a Castagna, and sure enough, he's got the same goals points per start figure as Castagna. They're both averaging 7 goals per start, the same as one Andrew Robertson.
Oh wow!
No.
Fun fact.
Not so fun.
Depends on where you are, how fun it is.
I got to face him after we talked about him in the pod last week, so that was
oh nice.
That was fun.
Yeah. Still turn it on when he wants.
He did concede too.
Yeah. Ryan, remember our conversation about defenders last week and how they're terrible this year, or have been worse?
I know.
So given that, where do you think Mikolenko ranks this year in terms of overall fantasy points in defenders?
For defenders,
has to be in top 20.
Yeah, I would say like 12,
13.
Woo!
Nice.
Crazy,
Nice.
right?
Wow.
And we're here calling him a streamer.
Yeah, that's both go together.
He is, though. All right, in a similar vein, because I think this is a good segue here. One player that came in with to much fanfare and hype, and then was recently on a lot of the leagues that I'm in dropped, only to then of course be picked up again. And I know a couple of you in your articles were hyping him over the last week or two, which is awesome. But of course, one Purvis Estupiñán, and he had 20.5 with a fantasy assist last week. But more importantly, like 4 key passes. He looked fantastic. So I'm curious, is he back? Are the crap scores of yore, are they gone? And now we're just going to be rewarded with greatness?
Of yesteryear of 2 weeks ago?
Right.
I'm gonna say he's fake-ish. I think he's got potential for sure. I mean, the Brighton recruitment. I mean, they rarely miss.
Right.
So I think he's got it in him to be a decent left back. But I don't know if De Zerbi has really bought into it fully yet. I mean, the reason that we weren't fully sold before is because he kept getting like yanked at halftime. So he'd, ghost out for 6 to 8 in 45 minutes and then get yanked. So he wouldn't be able to get the clean sheet or anything like that. And so this is the first time he's really kind of put together a full performance. And I just don't know if he can sustain this or if De Zerbi really puts his faith in him for to be a nailed on 90-minute player. So good signs for sure. But I think the jury's still out.
Okay, Totti?
Yeah, I agree. Currently, I'd have him in as fantasy fake, but definitely one of those that needs to be looked at more carefully and streamed if the right circumstances are there. Like this time around, you knew Feldman was out injured. You knew there were some issues around the team injury-wise, so there was a good chance that he would go late into the game. And obviously, Chelsea are not the attacking powerhouses, so anyone who had him or picked him up will have started him. He's fake right now, but has the potential to be real.
Okay, I like it. So yeah, when we look at, let's glance at defenders real quick, because like we just said, they're not great this year. But I'm just curious if you would rather roster Estupiñán or Anderson.
Anderson for me.
It's close.
I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago.
I'd say Estupiñán for me, just for the upside.
Okay. What about James Justin?
Estupiñán.
Okay. Last one. Let's see. What about... God, I'm just looking at these defenders. It's like I'm gonna ask you about the 11th overall defender, Timothy Castagna. Am I gonna ask you about the 15th overall defender, Ben White?
Oof.
Oh God.
Right? Like, I mean, this is the reason why, if you can hit on a defender who's kind of like finding form / finding, their role in the team, like Estupiñán might be like Schär, sure. I mean, it's worth its weight in gold this year. This is why I think this is so important to get this one right. But unfortunately, like you said, Ryan, there's just not enough data yet.
Yeah, Estupiñán's got 8.6 ghosties per start, which is the exact same as Anderson, actually. Same as Salazar as well. So yeah, he's right around there.
All right, fair enough. What about Joe Gomez? That's a weird one because he might lose his spot. Maybe kind of shit when he doesn't have a clean sheet.
Which Liverpool don't really.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to keep it for more than 4 minutes.
I think about. I think the real test is: would you hold any of these through the World Cup? And I think about holding Estupiñán. I wouldn't hold Joe Gomez.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I thought about dropping Joe Gomez this week, so tells you where I'm at on that.
Yeah. Are you gonna play him against Spurs?
That I was literally just gonna ask you. Do you think they can keep a clean sheet against Tottenham? Because I don't.
I mean, without Son now, there is a chance.
Is Kulu back?
No, he's not.
Oh,
neither is Richarlison.
Oh,
so looking at
Brian Heel.
Brian Heel, or
it's Lucas again, probably,
or Moura, yeah. So I fancy Liverpool for a clean sheet, to be honest.
Oh, interesting.
I think they should.
That's tempting. That is tempting, but I don't know.
I'm hoping Trent will feast there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a 0-0. Get Tottenham get into like a low block and just defend, and
get into. I don't think they've gotten out of one all season.
I set you up for that one. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. It was my fault. I put that on a plate for him.
That's true. Low-hanging fruit.
All right, let's move along. Ryan, did you add the next one?
Yes, I most certainly did.
All right, you want to pitch it?
No, man, that's what we got. You're the front.
That's why I'm here. Okay, all right, got it. All right. So Fulham attackers not named Alexander Mitrovic, which of course, that's an every week play. You're clearly just trotting him out. He's a stud at this point. Start your studs. Don't even doubt it. But we have some other players.
Are you starting him against City this week?
I mean, I don't roster him. I wish I did, but I don't.
I think you have to be honest.
I agree.
Unless you have a really deep team.
Would you rather start Mitrovic or Sterling?
Sterling.
Oh,
Sterling against Arsenal, so I'd still have Mitrovic.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Okay, Mitrovic or Kai Havertz?
No, not Chelsea. Try something else. Mitrovic.
Okay, Mitrovic
or Christian Pulisic.
Ooh,
probably Pulisic.
Oh, so he's the one that won you over.
What about Zaha in his current form?
Oh, Zaha said forget. He can pop for 30 whenever.
But if you had to do one,
he hasn't.
Mitrovic
Zaha.
or Mitrovic. Stop low. These easy ones. Mitrovic or Gonzalo Guedes.
Guedes. Yeah, I said it.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
No.
All right. If he gets to start, we'll see. I'll put money on if Guedes gets to start that he scores more points this weekend than Mitro.
Who do Wolves play?
Brighton.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
In the Wolves' den, mind you.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's even better.
even better.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out.
That's dependent on Guedes getting his first start in the last lunar eclipse.
Okay, so aside from Mitrovic, however, we've got several, or at least a couple of Fulham attackers who are performing quite well. Namely, the geriatric Willian, and also the aging Andres Pereira. So, yeah, as you mentioned here, double-digit ghosts for both recently, which, of course, ghost points, dear listeners, means points that are not scored off of attacking returns. So the question is, these other Fulham attackers, are they like the ultimate sell high, or is this something that's going to continue?
It's something I tackled in Ghost Point Hunters. They're all blending together. I don't know if it was last week or this week. Oh, no, it was this week. Because Pereira kind of had a so-so start the first 5, and then the last 5 he's been a house on fire. But his ghosts per start are still around 7. So it's kind of, is this a purple patch? Is he going to revert back to the mean? How does, Harry Wilson finally being reacclimated and fully fit, if he kind of, has a good World Cup with Wales and, is finally back to his old championship form? Does he start nicking some set pieces and thus some points off of Pereira? Is this a sell high? So I've been kind of contemplating that because you can't really argue with the numbers. The past 5, they're quite astounding. Yeah, and not even as astounding as Willian in terms of ghost points. I mean, he's legit averaging 12 ghost points per start since he came to Fulham, which is quite insane.
That's
Fulham on a little purple patch, and I just don't know if it's real or not. I think I would sell high.
What were you saying, Totti?
Yeah, I was gonna say how crazy Willian's numbers are, but yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. I'm selling high on any Fulham player I have.
Yeah, City and United before the break. Brutal.
Can I ask a quick Fulham question that I've been kind of pondering this week?
How many of those do you have?
just the one.
Okay.
This is close to home because I roster him and I've grown to love him.
I just got a little scared trying to think about like how much brain time you spend thinking about Fulham.
Not that much. I
Okay,
only for all of my thought and pondering about Fulham, I only roster one of their assets in two leagues. So
all right, that's reassuring. Okay,
and that asset is one Burn Leno. Goes for fun. I think he's still the highest ghosting goalkeeper out there in the year of goalkeeping, mind you.
Yeah.
And normally you'd bench your keeper against City, but like, I don't know. I feel like he can ghost his way out of a couple goals conceded, and I just don't feel like dropping someone to get another keeper. I don't know. Would you guys start Leno this week?
Ooh.
I wouldn't. I think it's either going to be Alvarez on his third start after a very good midweek Champions League game where he scored one, assisted one, I think, or going to be Foden, false nine, both of which are pretty scary. I think Leicester was first Haaland less start. I think that's the anomaly, not the.
I was going to say Ward got 8 points with a goal conceded.
Yep, I'm not starting Leno.
City still averaging the least. Goalkeepers versus City still averaging the least of any team in the league, according to our fixture difficulty tracker, which is available to Inner Circle members. 4.1 per match, which is interesting because it's not as bad as you'd think, considering defenders versus City average 0.5. 0.
This has gone up. This has gone up because this
used to be
minus.
negative.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about certain Diop, but I feel like Leno, if anyone.
If you have to, I don't love it.
I probably have a roster spot I could burn, but I just don't like the other keepers on the wire.
Problem is, City are pretty clinical, aren't they? I mean, when you think about,
I haven't really been bombing in shots, but I mean, like Ward got 4 saves, and got 8 points without a clean sheet. So like,
sure,
I wouldn't be surprised if Leno was able to drop that. So we'll see.
All right. Well, but back to what we were talking about, which was, of course, Willian and Pereira. You both said sell them now if you can, essentially before the 2 Manchester games and then the World Cup break.
I think so, depending on what you can get. Because I mean, I wouldn't be depressed to hold them, but I think you could probably get pretty top dollar for them right now, and I think I'd probably want to cash in.
Yeah,
agreed.
Okay, nice. I like it. Ryan, what is this? Miguel Almiron? Why is this on here?
Hey, man. I think he's also a sell high.
Dude, okay, tell me more about that.
I mean, obviously on fire. Grealish has done something to the man. It'd be funny if he had no idea that he said this whole time, and he's just like playing well, just for the love of the game. Goal dependent, always has been, always will be. Obviously, you don't care right now because he's putting in goals, but I just think that's going to dry up. And still don't know what kind of lineup Howe is going to field when everybody's healthy, when ASM comes back. Isaac, do those two kind of suck some of the life out of Almiron? He won't be such a focus with those two back in. And I just feel like you can cash in right now. I feel like it's a perfect sell high moment.
What can you get?
That I don't know.
I'll just say I'm not opposed to what you're describing. Like I do think if you can get value for him now's the time to do it, because when you look at his numbers, when you see somebody who scored 2 goals against Fulham and scored 24 points, that's your definition of somebody who's pretty goal dependent. So yeah, I mean, make sure that it's good value, but my point is like he's not fantasy fake. He's definitely real.
It depends on your definition of fantasy fake, fantasy real.
I suppose.
I mean, if the according to Hoyle definition is someone you can have faith in rest of season as a top asset, I think he's fake in that regard.
Well, not a top asset, but he's definitely not gonna be droppable.
No. I don't think that's the opposite of the definition. Hey, to each his own.
Okay, so tell us, with your expertise on Hoyle, what do you believe to be the definition?
Like I just said, that they're a dependable asset that you want to hold.
Okay, all right.
And in this case, top asset.
That's fair though. Like
recent numbers.
No, and that's why even as he was like sort of rounding into form, I never picked him up, and I to be honest, I never really even thought about it because like I've been burned by him so many times.
I know. I was just lamenting that fact with my friend. I was like, so and so's riding Pereira and Almiron, and they were both just, at least Almiron was sitting there waiting to be plucked.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we've streamed them so many times over the years that we're just like apathetic to it.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only league I picked him up is the one I am co-managing with Benji, and he's a big Newcastle fan, so he was adamant about. We actually picked him up game week 1 or something like that, and then dropped him, and then pick him up again, and now obviously are keeping him for good, but yeah, he's one of those that has probably burned us too many times for us to have been able to see this coming.
Right. Exactly. It's like if Stuart Armstrong now were to go on a run.
Well, no, you fell for it again, my friend.
I fell for it again last week, and then now I don't care if he scores. I don't care if he scores 3 goals next match. I'm not.
I want this in writing.
I absolutely am not. I'm done.
I'll draw up a contract.
I'm out. Anyway, okay, so yeah, Almiron, I think, sell high. Totti, you're mentioning what can you get? Let's see. Are you talking? I mean, do you think you could get like a top 12 midfielder or a forward?
No. I don't think. I think you can only sell him high in a package deal.
Okay.
5.3 ghosts per start, by the way. The same as Tim Ream.
Ouch. Yeah, that's
bested
brutal.
by Tyrone Mings.
Could you make? And I see what you're saying now, Totti. You're not going to be able to do 1-for-1 because the name value on the guys you're going for are going to be so much higher.
Exactly.
Like I was just looking at like Trossard. Or, somebody like that.
Exactly. Like, you're not getting Trossard for Almiron.
Okay, here you go, Ryan. Could you package Almiron with a Mikolenko and go for somebody like Odegaard?
No.
Yeah, I think you could.
You think so?
Some folks would accept that.
I doubt it very highly.
What about Pereira?
I think you're thinking of some. At least I'm thinking of something like Salah and Almiron for KDB.
Oh wow!
Or something like that.
Okay. All right. I see. I see you. That's not bad.
Shaking that ass.
What about going for someone like we've already mentioned him, but somebody like a Zaha who's having a dip in form?
I like that a lot, actually. I don't think it would get over the line. You might have to do another +1.
Yeah.
And really hope for some people to be upset with Zaha, but I like it as an opener for sure.
Ryan, in the High Rollers League, you have Zaha.
No, just not as an opener for me.
We have Mickey Almiron. Let's make a deal.
No, thank you.
But for people who don't listen to this podcast, of course, you're making that offer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Cool. So Mickey Almiron. Sort of real is the definitive answer. Perfect. There you go. All right. One that I'm thinking will be a quick conversation, but we'll see. Of course, we have to say his full name, Crescencio Somerville, the prolific
Merchant of Venice.
Yeah, the prolific goal scorer against Liverpool to seal the win 2-1 on the weekend, and he ended with 10 fantasy points.
With a goal.
In 88 minutes. Yep, that's correct. The week before that, he also had a goal, which led many to think, wow, could this be real? Have I stumbled onto something here? 12.5 points.
And when did yours truly play him? The match before, where he played 90 for 2 points.
Lovely.
Yep. Is this a fake?
I mean, yeah, that says it all. Okay. I thought it was fake before you brought up those numbers, but yeah.
Totti?
Fake. I like him this week, though.
I like him in real life. I think he's a player. I just don't.
Yeah.
Those numbers are putrid.
He's young, like actually young, not just young in the Premier League.
Thanks for clarifying.
Well, you seem to have a confusion at what the two are.
Again, depends on your definition.
That's why he clarified.
Yeah,
exactly. It's very fluid.
All right. So yeah, Bournemouth, and then so let's be clear. He's losing his spot as soon as the Leeds front line is healthy, right? As soon as Sinisterra's back.
Yes,
I would think so.
And that's going to be sooner than later.
I would hope so.
Do you think they risk him before the World Cup?
Sinisterra?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Well, just a lot of times when you have an extended break coming up, you give them that extra time to.
But they need the points, so yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
They don't care about the World Cup.
Yeah, he's not playing with it anyways.
True. He was already a late fitness test at Liverpool, so I mean, people who grabs Somerville on waivers might already be disappointed this week.
Be pretty harsh back-to-back goals to bench him, but yeah, it's coming at some point.
Yeah,
agreed.
Okay, beautiful. We can put a bow on that. Jeannie wanted us to talk about Casemiro. I know this,
but Jeannie's not here, is he?
I actually was going to include him, and then I didn't because he's almost 70% rostered. But you're picking him up, right?
No.
Steady Eddie. I mean, if you need one of those types, sure.
You're not picking him up, Totti?
Yeah, if you are 7 points away from victory, then yeah.
Very, very unique circumstances.
Yeah.
You need 6.5 in the final game
of the game,
and he's available.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, if that's you, dear listener, then you know what to do. And you are in one of let me see.
30%?
I guess it's 34% of leagues that he's available. All right. So Totti, you're lumping him in with that, just the general CDM class of player. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rather Casemiro or the Spurs CDMs who seem to be scoring all their goals lately?
Well, Højbjerg, obviously, I'd have ahead of Casemiro. Bissouma, unfortunately, we don't score progressive passing so well. So
I know they need to tweak that system. I mean, if it was all about forward passing, goodness.
So no, not that's a no on Bissouma. Bentancur, I'd probably be more hopeful.
He's 6 or 38. Basically every week.
Exactly, but Casemiro is 6 or 9. So you'd rather 6 or 38.
Yeah, okay. this is like your fourth or fifth midfielder when you find out that like Sterling is benched this game or so, something like that, right? Where you're like, oh shit, I guess I better put Casemiro in.
Yeah, but then again, I would exclusively always rather your Stuart Armstrongs, your Rencios, Somervilles, your Frasers, your whoever that has some sort of chance at an attacking return, rather than your Bentancurs or Casemiros. Although, Spurs CDMs have been carrying the team.
Yeah.
Goals wise, but I'd always rather the upside guy, who will either get me 0 or 10 with a goal. But
sure.
10 with a goal is much better than 6 without a goal.
That sounds miserable.
I mean,
well, we're talking streaming.
He's not wrong though, Ryan. It's math. That's just basic math.
Yeah, no, it's hard to argue against those figures.
Okay, Totti, would you rather play Casemiro or Brian Mbomo versus Wolves?
That's not even close.
Brian Mbomo?
Mbomo's gonna destroy Wolves.
What about Yohan?
They don't even play Wolves.
Yeah, exactly. That's how good he is.
This is so hypothetical that the matchup's not even.
Oh, they don't play Wolves?
No.
Oh.
No, Brighton against Wolves.
Wolves play Brighton. We just made that bet, for Christ's sake.
Oh, you're right. No,
Brentford are playing
I'm on
Forest.
Fantasy Football Scout, and that's how they have it.
I know it's weird. I was just looking at that Scout. Like half of the matchups have been updated, and half are like from last week.
Weird.
It's It's really weird.
So
that's why you should use our site. Nottingham Forest.
At Forest.
Oh shit. Okay. Well then, yeah.
A good comparison, I think, is Caicedo, and I love Caicedo. I just think he's awesome to watch, and I think he's got upside too because he loves a shot.
I'd always rather Caicedo than Casemiro. Just it's like
it's the aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly.
The aesthetic.
Exactly. And someone you want to root for. Someone like you're genuinely happy if he does well. No,
sure, but we're talking about your upside plays, right? You were just talking about upside plays. So exactly. Like it's somebody like you've got like Jordan Ayew, or you're sitting there with Damari Gray as an example, who gets 1.5 unless he does something. Neeskins Cabano or
Neeskins.
I'm just trying to look through Patson Daka maybe.
I'd much rather Neeskins Cabano and Patson Daka than Casemiro.
Oh wow! Even Neeskins Cabano? Neeskins himself?
The one and only Neeskins.
I love saying his name.
Not to go back to Fulham, but to go back to Fulham, isn't it super weird that you have a front three behind Mitro, two of which, score for fun, and the third one is in basically the same position, and he can't get points to save his life? Isn't that really weird?
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen that type of disparity in an attacking formation in a while.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He can't do it.
I mean, I guess when Kulusevski got injured and Richarlison was in.
Yeah, but Son wasn't scoring that well either.
That's true.
Like, we're talking ghosts and Sterling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like if Kai was, scoring a dozen a game and Sterling just was scoring like 3.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the fact that like
Chelsea are the other way around. All of them are shit.
I'll have you know. I will have you know. Kai Havertz.
We will know if you have us know.
Doing fairly well recently.
Oh Christ!
Is he one goal ahead of
Define fairly well.
Well, we've been talking about him now for a few weeks. He's got 3 goals in the last 7. So, and that's what you want from your striker, certainly. And he even had a match where he had 6.5 ghosts.
Ooh.
Red letter day.
Goodness gracious. Why didn't you say so?
Oh, I'm getting the hot sweats.
And that was the match where he got yanked at 45. So,
Nice.
Take a cold shower.
Yep. I kid. All right. Anyway. I'm not talking about Harry Maguire.
Yeah, no thanks. You
Genie
gotta be here to get that one through.
Yeah, sorry, Jeannie. We're not doing it. Love you, but nope.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Moving on. All right, our second segment going to be kind of a quicker one. Little bit of short, kind of like quick fire in a way. I've got just a whole bunch of names that I kind of looked up. Who was injured? Who was sort of maybe potentially coming back soon. And I'm just gonna pepper them at you guys and see what happens. These are World Cup stashes. So guys who you might think about adding now, who are coming back from injury. Guys maybe under a new manager. Just potential players you might want to add, and then of course at the end, if you got any other ones, blurt them out. But yeah, let's kick it off. So right now, talking still now, 2 game weeks before the World Cup break, would you add Pedro Neto?
No.
Really?
And I love him. I love him to death. I mean, this is we're talking ankle surgery on compounding other serious injuries. And I just don't know when he's going to be back, let alone back in, 2021 form. I just don't know. And so, yeah, I don't think it's worth the hold.
Yep.
But I don't think many of these folks are worth the hold, to be honest.
I'd say, looking at the doc now, I'm going to say no on all of them.
All right, that's fine. But let's let people at least hear the names first.
No.
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, that's good to know, though, honestly, because I think people will start to sort of consider these names. So let's change it to this then. Instead of adding right now, would you add before the World Cup any of these guys? So we had Pedro Neto. You said no. Does that change it at all for you?
No.
Okay. What about Wesley Fofana? Add before the World Cup?
No.
I think I probably would do that.
I had him. I had him
defenders are hard.
2 leagues or 3 leagues. Had suffered through the will he, won't he with Leicester and Chelsea.
Same.
And then saw him not start for Chelsea and then start and get 0 points.
Yep.
Not for me. Chelsea are still a bloody mess. They're not going to be consistently keeping clean sheets for fun. They're not going to be scoring a lot for fun. Fofana is not going to be an aerial threat in attacking play.
Right.
He's a good stream in matchups that you expect Chelsea to either be working a lot or keeping a clean sheet, but other than that, he's not going to be holding a spot on my bench during the whole of the World Cup.
Okay. That's okay. I like it. What about Raul Jimenez?
No.
No.
I don't know if he makes it back into Wolves. I have a feeling that he's probably played his last game and he'll be sold.
You think so?
I'd agree. I think he gets his contract mutually terminated and he goes back to Mexico.
Yeah, that makes sense. Unfortunate. Okay. So you know who else I hope gets their contract terminated is Diego Costa. My God.
Come on. This is priced in.
We all told you.
Oh, I didn't start him. I never even picked him up. I'm just like
I streamed him the week before.
I started him for the 11 Ghost game.
Yeah, me too.
It's a comedy of errors.
It was never going to work out.
No.
But that also means that they need to sign a forward to stay in the league. And that's a must.
I've been reading about... Oh, bullshit. Don't give me that. I've been reading about Lopetegui actually being interested in Mariano Diaz.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he's got the profile to be good in the Prem.
If you want to hear us talk about what Wolves might be like under Lopetegui, go ahead and go back.
Go back in the archives.
Yeah, go back 6 weeks or 5 weeks or something, and we really talk about it quite in depth. And then
so the first Stallions.
Yep. And then the next week we basically say like, well, so that's dead now, even after it looked so promising. Anyway, yeah, we did a whole segment on it, so check it out.
I'm glad they, in retrospect, I'm glad that they waited, gave him the space after his father's passing, didn't knee jerk, hire somebody else, and it looks like they're going to get their man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too.
Fair
actually.
play to him. Yeah, he's a good manager.
All right, so Ryan, a lot of Wolves players. This is not the segment at all right now, but that's fine. A lot of Wolves players on the wire right now, in anticipation of Lopetegui ball, which really rolls off the tongue. Who are you adding?
I think Neves will be good, although he's fully rostered. The guys that you really want are probably mostly rostered. Hugo Bueno signed a new contract, so I mean, I think Ait Nouri's not going to be nailed on. I think they'll continue to rotate. So those guys are out. I think Geddes is really the most high upside gettable play right now.
You think Nunez will continue to be crap?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a fantastic player in real life. I don't know how he gets his points in fantasy. I don't think Lopetegui or really anything will change that unless Lopetegui really uses him as more of an attacking player. But
yeah, he's one of those Jorginho types. Like he progresses the ball well. He
actual progressive passing. Yeah,
that's a good comp.
Yeah, but he just doesn't score well in our system.
Interesting. Okay. That's a really good comp. Okay, cool. All right.
The comp.
Anyway, back to World Cup stashes. Potentially coming back from injury. Some people drafted him and thought that he was going to do well. I just wanted to make sure, because I don't know if somebody got it in their head that they might add him. Emile Smith-Rowe. Talk him off the ledge.
I mean, go back and look at my do not draft list entry. It's all foretold there.
Where was his draft stock?
He went mostly like 7th round.
Oh my god!
In my leagues.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I love him. I love him as a player, though.
Oh, 100%.
Of course. Yeah.
It's a damn shame that he's got the injury bug. Because man, he was clinical last season. And just a bright talent. But yeah, the injuries, the fact that even if he was fully fit, I don't know how he gets into this team other than through rotation, or an injury to Martinelli. So add in all of those factors, and I mean, he's someone I'm keeping an eye on, and we'll stream in the latter half of the season if given the opportunity, but not worth the stash.
Definitely starter if he's starting in real life, but not worth the stash.
Yeah. Okay. What about N'Golo Kante?
Come on now.
Yet.
No. Okay. Stuart Dallas.
Not stashing, but intrigued as to how he scores in Marsh Ball. So I'm keeping an eye out. But not worth the stash.
Not for me. Thank you.
No for you.
I love the fact that you added this next one. My goodness. It's really under the radar.
So my only question about Dallas is it's still going to be January and when he might return. But I'm a little bit concerned, like, who loses out once he's healthy?
He has played at left back
and
at
mid.
Times, and mid. So strike, you would have to think has done enough to keep his spot.
Right.
Midfield, what would it be like? But that was midfield mostly in the old system, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how he slots into this Marsh midfield where you have like Adams and Roca. That he doesn't really fit that profile. Plus, he's not really a front three guy. Yeah, I think he probably rotates.
Or just doesn't come back in.
Yeah, I could do that. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I know this one's a little bit cheeky, but I still
like it.
I still love the guy because, of course, I had him early on
one game
and played him for the one game when he scored 19.75, which of course led to his points per game total of 11.5 in 2 matches. Musa Niakate. You're not adding him, right?
No.
I just love him. I can't.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
I love it.
And finally, the not retired yet, which confused Jeannie a little bit, but not retired yet, expected to return in February. I know this is a long shot. I just wanted to include it just in case. Ricardo Pereira. No.
I mean, you might as well have included Chiquinho.
I would love to include Chiquinho. I wish the man was healthy. They need his ass. You're right. Sorry, Totti. Okay, fine. We can move on. All right, that'll do it for. Well, actually, hold on. Time out. Sorry. Those are the injured players. Do you guys have any shouts for players to add or think about adding who might be like coming into the 11 or getting an opportunity under a new manager or anything like that?
Guys we haven't talked about yet, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, ideally.
I mean, the new managers are basically Emery and Lopetegui at this point, right?
Yeah. Things are still getting settled at Chelsea, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah, or De Zerbi, maybe.
Sure.
I'm not sure, honestly. I think I want to shout out what we have decided in the Community League, and I urge every commissioner who's listening to give it a think, that we are actually locking the player pool and not having players on free agents, but we are having players locked up in waivers over the course of the World Cup, so that it gives our managers some peace of mind and they don't have to jump right, like watching the World Cup games and there's an injury or there's some issues, then they have to jump on fan tracks and look for players.
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
So with that thinking, if your league is doing something like that, I would, and you have a lot of free spots, like you're streaming your spots and you want to like pick up 2 or 3 players that are holds for the World Cup. I'd look at players who are backups to players who are expected to go deep into the World Cup. Like I would look at Malacia because Shaw is expected to play the full course of the World Cup at left back for England. I'd look at
Pulisic is going to go really far.
Yeah,
think about his backup.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like that Zakaria kid, he just scored in the Champions League, so pick him up. Players like that.
That's a great point.
But obviously that doesn't really translate if you're keeping the pool open for the World Cup, because you'll be able to add and drop.
Yeah, but it would give you that peace of mind that if that happens, that you don't have to knee jerk go on the wire if you already have that person. So yeah, I think either way, if you have the room, you can take those kind of punts. Yeah, like I said, I think Geddes is probably the one with the most kind of decent upside under a new manager that you can stash right now.
Does he have a chance to go to the World Cup?
I mean, I'm just mean more in terms of the new manager. Yeah, I think he'll be on the Portugal squad.
Jota's out, so
he plays for them regularly, anyways.
Oh, does he?
So yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a nailed on starter, but
he's traveling
be with Portugal. Yeah.
Yep.
I just think more in terms of like who's on the wire right now that in 2 months' time will have an opportunity to have some decent upside.
Yep.
Amazing. Anyone else?
Nkate?
Absolutely. Do it. Guys we've already mentioned, maybe like check your wire for guys like Harry Wilson. Who else am I forgetting that we talked about last week, Ryan?
Neeskens, Cavano.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neeskens and Crescencio.
Oh, yes. All right, things are going off the rails here, and we're not even drunk. All right.
I wish we were drunk.
I wish we were together. We were just
talking to Lisbon.
We were just talking about planning the next Draft-a-Palooza, and it got my heart aching because I need a trip. I just need a trip, and B, just miss you guys, man. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys live close. You guys live close by.
I mean,
yeah, we did a mini Palooza.
Yeah, we did. Next time we're going to do Richmond, though, because
we'll have to meet in the middle.
If I have to drive to DC again, I might throw myself off a bridge.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'll have your choice. You'll have your choice of bridges.
Yeah, fair amount of bridges up here.
On the way.
Well, wow. Spoiled for choice. All right. Anyway. Okay, let's end it with some streamers for this week, gentlemen. Game week 15. Streamers, who do you like this week? Totti, do you want to start?
Yeah. I
take
like
any of mine.
I won't. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I like Damsgaard. If Jensen doesn't go, I like the aforementioned Mitoma. I like Emmanuel Dennis if he goes against Brentford, who have been possibly even worse than Forest in the last few games.
Ooh, that is a cheeky one. That is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I like your run of the mill Romain Perraud's, and I like your Leeds, whoever. Mark Roca might be good against Bournemouth. Guys like this.
What about like Cooper or?
Cooper's a must start.
Okay, all right. Well, he's still available in a lot of leagues now because I think he was dropped largely.
Yeah, get Cooper in.
Okay. Yeah, Cooper, Stroik. What about Christensen? Razmi
is projected
on my list.
Projected to.
Oh
yeah,
shit! I'm sorry. Man.
He's projected to score well by DraftLads.
Okay. All right. I'm just spitballing here. So Ryan, go ahead because I'm gonna clearly just take more of yours when you clearly warned Totti not to do that.
Yeah.
So
I did well.
Cheated on me when I explicitly asked you not to.
You deliberately disobeyed me. Sorry, Mufasa.
Yeah, I was the first to shout the Forest, but now it's been downplayed.
Right.
I actually like Forest wingbacks this weekend, like Totti alluded to originally. Brentford really poor away from home. They won't have Tony. I wouldn't be surprised if Forest nick another clean sheet at home like they did against mighty Liverpool. In which case, that puts their ghosting defenders without Niakate, unfortunately. Nico Williams and Serge Aurier. That puts them firmly in play. So yeah, I like streaming them this weekend. I think one of Geddes or Moutinho gets the go ahead. Moutinho has been actually ghosting pretty well when he's come on, so he's been a decent streamer of late. Yeah, I think with Costa serving that suspension, Geddes has a chance to go up top and prove Lopetegui what he's got when he comes in. So I think he's got a shot there.
Sure.
City defenders should have some aerials to deal with Mitrovic coming into town. So any of kind of Stones or Laporte, or depends on Kanji, Ake, any of those guys, if they're on the wire, worth a punt in the off chance that they start. Talked about Rasmus. He's actually been ghosting fairly well of late. I think he's been getting like 7 to 8 points, even with a goal or two conceded, with a okay shot at getting a clean sheet this weekend. I think he's a good stream. With, of course, Fabian Schär, who I just picked up, as we talked about, picking up a knock. It'll either be Lascelles or Target.
Yeah.
Target's obviously got the most upside. He hasn't started in ages. So if they slot Dan Burn into center back and put him at left back, I really like that shout. Lascelles not as much, but if you get jammed up, he's the Newcastle defense. I think they have the best defense in the league as of now, or close to it. So
right.
Yeah, they've been performing pretty well. So they're not a bad shout. And yeah, finally that last game, Tottenham Liverpool, Lucas Moura or Curtis Jones have a decent shout too. One of them will likely start. I think probably Lucas. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Totti, as a fellow Liverpool fan, are you streaming Liverpool midfielders?
It's the last game of the game week, so I'm really really torn. Probably need to not count for a start or anyone other than your regular guys. So no, I'm not. I can't guess whether it's going to be Hendo or Elliott or Carvalho or whoever, or Curtis Jones.
Right. Right.
So and all of them hold decent value. So if you have one of them, it's better, it's safer just not to count for a start and then miss out on the points, because it Spurs away. It's not going to be a goal fest. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be Liverpool toiling at around the box or 20 yards away from goal, passing it around, while 10 of Spurs players are in a low block.
It's so true. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So
it's going to be excruciating to watch.
It's not going to be a lot of points in there. I suspect there will be a long ball from one of the aforementioned Spurs CDMs that finds Joe Gomez or Ibu Konate wrong-footed, and Kane snaps at it and sort of tumbles in the penalty area, with Alisson not touching him, and gets a penalty and then dispatches it promptly. So I'm not wholly excited about that game at all.
Your levels of optimism.
Anyone is.
Your levels of optimism are blinding. Amazing.
Yeah.
No, I'm unfortunately probably completely with you. But yeah, anyway, okay. So Genie threw a couple out there. If people want to take these into account as well. So Genie is streaming this week Lucas Moura against, again, a suspect Liverpool defense that we're hoping can hold out, at least some of us. Kurt Zouma, who's in the top, I think 15 this year in defenders. So do with that what you will. He likes Sean Maguire because of course he does. He loves Mitoma. Get Genie started talking about Mitoma and get ready for a 25-minute conversation. He is apparently streaming. What's his name? Keelan Moore? Kiefer Moore. What do you guys think about that one?
I don't mind it against Leeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just going to mean headers for old Coop.
Well, and also
about it.
Moore gets a lot of aerials. I was looking at his numbers today.
He's the broke ass Ollie McBurney.
Oh, that's a blast from the past. I miss him.
Yeah,
Nice.
I know, right?
I like that.
He
And
made
then
the
finally, go ahead, Tony.
player of the month, I think, in the championship.
Is he still with Sheffield?
Yeah.
Oh, they're looking so good.
Burnley and Sheffield coming back up, baby.
Burnley's on like some kind of crazy win streak right now. Is it like 13?
I think it's unbeaten run. I think they've got some draws, but
Company.
yeah, the championship's
the Lord's work.
crazy this year.
Yep.
I love it. Burnley's going to be back. So many people are going to be so mad about it. It's going to be
So many
hilarious.
people as in one.
Well, mainly one person, yeah.
But it's going to be weird because they're going to be not a completely, but a fairly different prospect this time around.
Right.
Under Company instead of Dyche. So
100%.
yeah, it's going to be some old misconceptions, I think.
Ooh. I'm not going to get excited already about writing this summer, but
Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, come on. You know you love it.
Yeah,
All right.
Draft good.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for joining. Listeners, good luck. If you need anything, always, I remind you every time, let us know. Add us on Twitter. Start a conversation. Let's get some voices involved from the community. Some who, are just as knowledgeable as us and sometimes even more tuned in depending on how busy we are on a particular week. So get the amazing community involved in your start sit conundrums. If your league, however, is eagle-eyed on Twitter, you can always send us a trade advice email, which is one of the Inner Circle perks. Anyway, for the Key Pass Collective, I'm Joe. Ryan and Totti, you guys are incredible. We'll go ahead and close her down. Again, best of luck. It's been a blast. Cheers.